Hello, everybody who's listening. We finally put a name to our podcast. It was previously named The Podcast, but now it's the Unexperienced Teachers Podcast. So, welcome. Yeah, I am with Paz. I am Paloma, yeah. And so, for this podcast, we wanted to talk about what the ideal teacher is like, and also what how a classroom can be designed to create meaningful learning experiences for our students. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to read you to you the long list of characteristics an ideal teacher should have. But we also picked out some that were like, in our opinion, the most like important ones. Okay, so let's begin. A teacher should be knowledgeable, conscious, reliable, open minded, kind, understanding, patient, engaging, dynamic, communicative, respectful, fearless, innovative, mature, fair, inclusive, tolerant, trustworthy, flexible, organized, diplomatic, empathetic, emotionally intelligent, so important. And finally, a teacher is someone who presents like positive reinforcement in class and also provides feedback. But from this long list, we chose these characteristics. A teacher is someone who is patient, knowledgeable, conscious, innovative, fair, flexible, empathetic, engaging, innovative, and someone who provides feedback. Those are the most important ones. So, Paz, would you like to start explaining why a teacher should have these characteristics?
Okay, so teacher must be patient. And why is this so important? Because students we're going to work with are not going to have the same pace, for example. And also, we'll be working with teenagers as well, so they will have a different pace as well, but not just regarding, for example, about talking about teenagers, they are going to be dealing with some other changes, neurological changes, and also physical changes. So we must be empathetic as well. The teacher will need this a lot. Um, while working with every single student, but most with teenagers. What about conscious, Paloma? What do you think
Uh,
about it?
So, in my opinion, a teacher should be conscious of like where they're working, for example. As Paz said, we're going to probably be working with teenagers and also little kids, maybe adults, but um, in the end, they're all students, right? And when talking about consciousness, I try to mean like teachers should be aware of where they're working, who they're working with, And I was talking to Paz recently, and I was telling her that everything we do, like the actions we do, have consequences. So, for example, if I treat a student badly, and or maybe someone has a student has been having a bad day and I treat them badly, they're going to lose motivation in the class. They're probably going to hate me, or maybe not hate me, but like they're going to be mad at me, and they're not going to want to do the activities I have for them. Or, for example, if I tell them to speak, they're not going to want to do that because I made them feel bad. On the other hand, if we treat them with kindness and we treat them like people, because that's what they are, people, right? And they will maybe take a liking to us, which is not necessary, but like it's always nice, right? If I treat them nicely, they're going to want to do the activities I have prepared for them. They're going to want to participate in class. They're going to be motivated, right?
Yeah, I would like to add something to your point because students learn better when they like their teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very important. If we are looking for an effective learning or very deep learning progress, to say somehow, they are that is it's going to be imperative, you know. And also, I would like to add that consciousness is very important for the reflective process
You're so
throughout
right.
yes.
Yeah.
So we can go back to our houses and then we can reflect upon how well I did or what should I improve in the future. So this, I don't know, lesson or content um, can be, I don't know, presented in a better way to say somehow, or yeah, those kind of things. I was thinking while you were talking, Paloma.
Do you want to talk about any other characteristic, or should I?
Yeah, I would talk about fairness. Um, to be fair is very important when a teacher is working with students in general, with other people, let's say. And it was also related to what you said about conscious. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be very clear, and that we have to we need to have like a stack in our minds that we need to be neutral,
Mm-hmm.
and that means, or that would be or be related to this fairness. So we allow and we give all the students the same opportunities to participate in the lessons, or when we are
Assessing.
assessing. Yes, when we are assessing, it's very important that that we keep in mind that we have to be fair enough to all of them.
Yeah, I was telling my friend here that, for example, if we state like objectives or criteria to an assessment, we cannot change them after the students have already, for example, completed a task. We cannot take points away for something that wasn't stated or for something that we didn't tell them, right? Okay. Now we're going to go on to the next one, which is engaging. A teacher should be engaging in class in order to motivate their students. It's like just like with kindness, they're going to be more open to the idea of participating, for example, or answering questions that we give them, right? Uh, Engaging our students, I don't know. Do you want to add to that? Or maybe I said everything already.
Yeah, the thing that I would like to highlight is that this engaging. So it is very important to keep in mind that this engaging purpose is basically based on our students' needs
Their
and
interests,
interest, likes and dislikes, of course.
right?
Yeah.
Again, we have to like be aware of like the individual students, right? Because everybody has different needs and everybody has different interests. So for example, if half of the class is interested in video games and we show them a class based on video games, they're going to be so excited and they're going to want to work and participate, talk to their peers and such, right?
Yes, definitely.
And next we have flexible. Do you want to do innovative?
Innovative, I would say that it's very related to this, to being engaging,
Right.
um, because we are throughout the process trying to I don't know, research about some different strategies or techniques to use while teaching, and adapt, adapting everything we may find on the internet, for example, and try to take it and to link that with our students. So I should link both, like innovative and engaging. Those are like interconnected.
Yeah, I feel like innovation in terms of teaching is also like tightly related to technology, but in a way that what I mean to say is that students nowadays are born with technology. They know how to use their phones from a very early age. However, they do not know how to use computers, for example. But my point is that we can be innovative by integrating technology in class, but not like us using it, right? Because the point of, for example, language teaching is that students can communicate among each other. They can like speak, and also, well, technology can be used in any subject, not just like in a language subject, right?
Nevertheless, it is important to bear in mind that innovation it is not just the use of technology, for example, or inventing or creating like things from scratch.
It's
So
like finding ways to
yeah,
use, like it's how do you use technology,
yes,
and it's not how we use technology, but more so how we make our students use technology and like develop, for example, 21st century skills, which is something we have been seeing in class lately, right?
yeah, and it is very important.
Then we have inclusive. You want to talk about that?
Go for it, and I can
Add to it?
compliment your yes.
Yeah, okay. So a teacher should be or should have an inclusive classroom, right? What this means is that students basically, like we said before, they have different interests, but they also have different needs, different capacities, different ways to learn content, right? So teachers should be aware of that and keep in mind that they're all different and they all deserve the same opportunities of learning. And we have to give them those opportunities by, for example, making curricular adaptations, like you said before, right?
Exactly. So, adding to that inclusiveness point, Paloma, a teacher must be very knowledgeable about how to provide feedback, effective feedback. So, the teacher must know how to when, where, and how to provide this feedback and to let the students know how they are doing, how is uh, where are they going and where they are at the moment,
And also things they can improve,
and
right?
things they can improve. Yeah, so they can achieve their goal.
Well, adding to the knowledgeable side of things, a teacher, it's like the basis, right? A teacher should know the content very well, not just like, for example, knowing how to speak it, how to write it, and such, but also how to teach other people how to learn the language, right? And this goes along also with like methodologies. And well, one approach that is very popular with language teachers nowadays, oh sorry, teachers nowadays. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. One approach that is very popular with teachers nowadays is the communicative approach. It's like the main goal when we teach a language. We want our students to communicate, to be able to read things from around the world, talk to people around the world, to go abroad and stuff. And so, yeah, now we're going
Um,
to, I think, talk a little bit about what a class designed for meaningful learning should be like. All right. We're going to go over this quickly because we have been talking a lot about teachers. But yeah. So here we have a classroom that is engaging. We already talked about that. Like it's related to motivation and such, participation of students. Then we have that the fact that it should be a contextualized classroom. I mean, when we talk about classroom, we really are talking about like our classes, what we do in the classroom, right? So, what do you have to say about a contextualized classroom, Bas?
a must be a safe space for everyone to learn effectively, and that's why learning from errors is so important, because if we don't create this safe atmosphere within the classroom, and we first let them know that errors, we all make mistakes, for example, and that is also a possibility throughout this learning experience, that we can actually build a very deep knowledge, um,
Meaningful knowledge?
meaningful knowledge as well. And Spanish is aprendizaje profundo. So in this case, I was translating into deep knowledge. I don't know if it's okay. You will let me know.
Leave it
Um,
in the comments if
yes.
she's wrong or right.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So if we let them know that and we create this atmosphere, as I said before, they will be willing to participate. They won't feel any fears throughout the lessons. So that will be very enriching for
Mhm.
everybody in the classroom.
So you were talking about a proper learning environment, right?
Yeah.
Also engagement and the fact that learning from errors is a thing.
Yeah.
Like not everything is going to be perfect, but we learn from our mistakes.
Definitely.
So here we have also innovative, but we already talked about that. And then there's this other concept which is contextualized class, right? We have to keep in mind like the student's background, but like not individually, maybe, but like for example, from the school, from we have to think about like the city they're in, right? But also like contextualization is about how we show the content to them. Like we're not going to show them a situation that would not happen in real life. We're going to show them, for example, somebody who's shopping at a mall and is looking
Como el
for.
espacio pionero, for instance, so we can show a picture of the mall with some like real people buying
Yeah,
that.
and actually, I s- I don't know. I think it was during the month of November last year. I went to Líder, and which is a supermarket here in Punta Arenas. And there was an aisle in the supermarket which was called, I think, the American aisle, and it had like uh, products from the U.S. and they were in English, and I was like, "Ooh, this is very useful." So we can like basically show them that there are things in Punta Arenas or in any place in the world that they can go to and see them for them, see the things for themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to talk about a student-centered classroom?
Yeah, for sure.
Something
So,
fundamental.
yeah, and we've already talked about this throughout this podcast when when we presented like the I don't know
The
the
characteristics
characteristics.
of
Yes,
an
but
ideal
it
teacher.
was like yeah, and we well, I don't remember, but this is like um it is transversal.
Transversal, I don't know,
No.
inter.
Cross curricular.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of cross curricular. So every single teacher, no matter um, what the subject is, must have the student as the center of the classroom. And this means that we are going to try to find a way to present a topic uh, based on I don't know their needs
Mm-hmm.
or their interests.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would say that that's a. Would you like to add anything else
Yeah,
to
sure.
that?
So for me, a student-centered classroom or lesson is basically, probably you teachers who are listening to this, you know this, that the student must be at the center of the classroom. They must be like the main characters, so to say. You know, like they have to be the ones participating. It's not just them sitting on a chair listening to the teacher and taking notes. It's them,
Performing.
yeah, actively participating during class, being
Yeah,
the main character, right?
exactly.
Doing the things, completing projects, talking to their classmates, or for example, writing posts on the internet in English and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. We have to limit the even. I mean, even though the teacher is very important, um, we have to limit the time, the amount of time that we speak, basically, because they have to perform. So we will guide them, but they have to be on a stage. So we have to allow. We have to choose every single activity. or when we are planning the lessons, we also have to choose what suits them best to show their abilities,
Their
their no
knowledge,
knowledge, sorry,
skills.
skills,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're done for today. Thank you for listening to the Unexperienced
Thanks,
Teachers podcast.
bye.
Yeah,
See
bye. See
you.
you. New episodes coming out soon.